under these critical asylum cooperation agreements. The burden of illegal immigration is now shared all across the region. Now, when an illegal immigrant is arrested at our border, they can be sent to a neighboring country instead of into a U.S. community. Prior to my getting here, countries wouldn't accept them. They would say, no, no, no. I said, well, you got to take them. First month, I'll never forget. These gentlemen right here came to me. They said they won't take them back. They came, they may be murderers. They may be cartel heads. They may be some really vicious people. The countries didn't want them back. And I stopped all payments to those countries. I stopped everything going to those countries. And after it was stopped for about a month, you remember? After it was stopped for about a month, they called, they said, we'd love to have them back. And they never gave them as much money as they were getting, by the way, but they got some. It was amazing. And you people know better than anyone. They wouldn't take them back. We'd have planes flying over, loaded up with people that we didn't want here. And they'd say, don't ever even think about landing that plane. And they'd take them by boat and they'd take them by bus and they wouldn't let them into their countries. And all of a sudden they say, welcome back. We love having you.
As a wife?
So it was a great thing. And now they do take them back. And the relationship with those countries,
They know me, right?
the relationship is a much better one than it was before. In addition to our agreements with Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, we have systematically reformed the regulatory code to return asylum
Would you like
to
some
its
more in
original
Yes,
legal
please.
meaning and purpose,
Yes.
not a free ticket for entry. A recent comprehensive report by the Department of Homeland Security and Justice show how effective our reforms have been and how disastrous their removal would be. It would be a disaster for our country. I know they're thinking about removing them. I hope they don't do that. I hope they don't do that. It'll be an absolute travesty for our country. The report conclusively proves once and for all that aliens released at the border remain at large in the country and do not return home. They won't go home. And you rarely find them. It's very tough to find them. So we have aliens released in our country, many of whom are serious criminals. And we've stopped that. Don't ever start that process again. By contrast, under our policies, 98% of aliens that remain in DHS custody are removed. Simply put, if you enter the United States illegally, you are apprehended and immediately, safely removed from our country.
Rock on.
Without this core principle, there is no border, there is no law, there is no order. My administration also instituted vital public health measures on the border in response to the China virus. Under Title 42 of the U.S. Code, illegal immigrants are being promptly removed to protect the health of border agents, other migrants and local communities, and the public at large. Removing these protections would invite a public health catastrophe of epic proportions. As you probably know, in Tijuana, various parts of Mexico, the COVID, it's got about 24 names. I can call it from COVID to China virus. I can call it the plague. I call it the China plague.
I love
A
that
lot
song.
of different names.
Did you ever see that
But
song?
we always
Nick?
call it the invisible enemy. But the invisible
pretty cool.
enemy has been very tough on Mexico. And we have areas along the border where we're in great shape because right there, because of that we're in great shape. But on the other side in Mexico, they're suffering greatly with the virus. It's been incredible what we've achieved. And we didn't do the wall
He's so
because of
calm
COVID.
today.
We did the wall because of security and drugs and other things. But it turned out that in the middle of it all, along came this horrible plague. We inherited a dangerously lawless border.
Like he
The
got
people
some
that
rest,
work
you know
here
what
are
I mean?
unbelievably
Yeah.
brave. I've seen what they have to endure, what they have to go through.
I told you he was in
They're
Texas,
tough,
didn't I?
they're strong, and they're great patriots, great Americans. We fixed it and we secured it. We empowered our wonderful ICE and Border Patrol to fulfill their oaths and sworn officers. They became sworn
How many
officers
days
of
ago
the
did
law.
I tell you that?
And they love their job.
Oh,
It's a
the day
tough
before.
job. It's a nasty job. They're not paid what they should be paid, to be honest, but we got you up. We got you up. but these are incredibly talented people. They could probably do a lot better in terms of economics than they do here, but they love what they do and they love their country. We also put into place vital measures to protect American workers, keep out terrorists, and stop the abuse of our welfare system, where they'd come up, go in our welfare system, and live for years on American welfare without ever having a job. We also have, and we had, but we have them all the time. We have terrorists from the Middle East coming into our country through the southern border. That was before what you see right here. Because it was easier to come into our country through the southern border than it was through airports or any other means.
Yeah.
So they'd land in South America and they'd work their way up and they'd come into our country. And these are not people from the countries that you would suspect. These are people from some very seriously dangerous places in the Middle East. And the numbers are far greater than anybody would understand.
They're all
Really far
over in
greater.
Houston, aren't they, Nick?
Removing any of these measures would hamstring our workers, endanger our country, and cost taxpayers hundreds of billions of dollars a year. No matter our party,